Welcome back, welcome back. See if we can. Oh, that is not the same page. Let us go back to the other one. Let's edit. Welcome back, everybody. See if we can just copy this one. Put it over here, so. All right. I think we got to go here now. Lawful, welcome everybody. Yeah, this is the second try. Had an interruption earlier. Had to take care of that, you know. So we're gonna get started again. All right. Got Terrence wanna come up. Welcome. Tolerance. Alright, look like a fat finger that. So we're gonna get started again. Right? We have the sample document. Just pull it up again so we can take a look at the details. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Yeah. So I went ahead and let me make sure I say it at work before I'm gonna tell everybody say. Yeah. So I made the Word document available. So for those who want to go ahead and play around with it, if you want to download it and print it out, the document is right here. Ricardo, what go on? What's your question? So, again, how do we find the documents on the site? So you go to voiceofjamaica.com, right? And the first post should say new constitution. You click on that and you will see the draft right here. And if you want to read it online, you click on Constitution and Bill of Rights, right? And that's how you would get to the web page showing the constitutional template, right? So let us go over it again so that we remain in context. So again, the current constitution is colonial based. It is retaining all of the colonial frameworks that was there before the constitution, Jamaica Constitution Order in Council 1962, was actually made into effect. So the problem we have today is that the slavery law them still a keep we in a slavery. That is our biggest problem. So instead of trying to change what is already there, right? Instead of trying to change the current framework, why don't we as a people come together and make our own constitution and present it to the world and disclaim any colonial ties that is currently keeping us down? Isn't that a better approach than to go ask them to give us anything? So Ricardo said, what about our people that lives in other countries but visit Jamaica regular? Do we have a say? Of course, 100%. Once you are a Jamaican, you have 100% say in assisting in or suggesting how we go ahead and move forward with creation of a constitution. When a business about tolerance said that can be done, but the people are too divided. Someone has to start. Somehow we have to start something, and when other people see what we are doing, then them we make sense of it. We're not there to try get everybody to agree to anything. Zin? For those who see the sense in this, that is where we start. We not start to try get everybody in a one boat. Zin? We not try get everybody in a one boat. All we want to do is we want to begin. We want to start. We want our voice to not only be heard, but to be felt. If we are going to say that we want change, we have to start somewhere by creating change. And so far, we have been claiming say we independent for how long, don't? But yet still we have nothing of our own. We have nothing of our own. This can be the first creation from a free people as a collective. If we don't create something, how can we call ourselves independent? We have not created any laws. We have not created any government. We have not created any constitutions. We have not created any kind of social institution as a people. What we have been doing is participating in colonial rule. That's all we've been doing. Because most of the laws that we are adhering to and supporting comes from an era prior to 1962, when the Constitution, Order and Council 1962 was actually put in place. And when that Constitution was put in place, it bring with it the previous laws that were oppressing the people. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up so you can see for yourself. I am going to pull it up. I don't want one of the things here just me attack. Where was it? Powers of Parliament. What was it for? Or I think that's so far down, you know. It's supposed to be somewhere up here, so. Da-da-da. There I go. I gotta find the exact section. I gotta find the exact section so that I'm going to point out to you where exactly we have hold on a second. We have the savings clause where it imported all of the laws before the Constitution into the Constitution. Lawful, welcome everyone. And as some of you may already know, the laws of Jamaica are coming all the way from 1664. Yeah, make we open up this version so that we can read lawfully. Section 4, existing law. So I don't know why they don't have it in the consolidated version, but let us look at, so we are on the Ministry of Justice website, right? And this is the Jamaica Constitution, Order and Council 1962, right? I notice Constitution is in bracket, which means that it is not really a constitution, it is just referenced as such. Section 4 says, all laws which are in force in Jamaica immediately before the appointed day shall, subject to amendment or repeal by the authority having power to amend or repeal any such law, continue in force on or after that day, and all laws which have been made before that day but have not previously been brought into operation may, subject to as aforesaid, be brought into force in accordance with any provision in that behalf, or on or after that day, but all such laws shall, subject to the provisions of this section, be construed in relation to any period beginning on or after the appointed day, with such adaptations and modifications as may be necessary to bring them into conformity with the provisions of this what? With the provisions of this order. So this order come from England. All laws prior to the Constitution remains in force and effect. You see what it say? Existing laws. So we are still under colonial rule under the pretense that we are independent. Right? Because, and this is the biggest giveaway that we are still living under colonial rule. The highest court in Jamaica is what? The Privy Council. Yes, it is a court of review. But if they have the final word on all legal matters, all matters going all the way up, even past the Supreme Court, that means what? The real power is not in Jamaica. It is actually in England, because they retain the final say. But, and that's what I talk about today. Let us get back to our Constitution and Bill of Rights. So for those who didn't make it earlier, let us take a closer look at our example new constitution that we can create together. This is simply a starting point, right? Constitution and Bill of Rights. And if you want the actual document to go look at, scrutinize, edit, and all them something there, right? You can click here and you can download the Word version of this document and you can have it on your computer. So for those who are still wondering how you get to this document, you go to voiceofjamaica.com, right? You scroll down to the first post that says New Constitution. You click on it. And you scroll down and click on Constitution and Bill of Rights. And that is how you get to this page here that we're currently on. So as I said before, we as a people can come together and we can start to create a constitution made by we the people, so that we as a people will only put things in there that are beneficial to us as a people, not for a ruling class. All right? So let us begin. Constitution of the Island of Jamaica. Yes, I know it is not spelt like how we normally spell it, for obvious reasons. Land of wood, water, and proud people. Preamble. Just like you have in the United States Constitution, this is an introduction, almost like a purpose of why this document exists. We, the free people of the island of Jamaica, united by land, sea, and shared purpose, declare our collective right to govern ourselves in freedom, justice, and dignity. We declare and affirm that the authority of government comes only from the people who live upon this land. We establish this constitution to secure liberty, protect the natural rights of all people, maintain peace and order, preserve the land and waters of the island, and create a just system of law that is clear, fair, and equal to all. We reject corruption, tyranny, and rule by hidden power. We reject laws that exist outside the knowledge and consent of the people. We therefore establish this constitution as the single and supreme source of law for Jamaica, replacing all prior systems of rule. And for those who missed the first part of this, we don't want 50 different acts of parliament where you have to dig up and a search. They're not even in a one place. We should have a single constitutional document that describes the rights, liberties, anything having to do with the people, including anything having to do with law, order, or punishment as a violation of law. Right? This constitution is written in plain language so that every person may read, understand, and rely upon it. Excuse me. All authority exercised in Jamaica must arise from this constitution and remain accountable to the people. What does that mean? That means, if we have anybody who exercise power, we the people can override the constitution by vote if we find that corruption is afoot. We're not supposed to have to wait for certain things to institute justice. If we have something that is clear, for example, if we have video footage of someone doing a heinous act, do we really want to sit there talking about we are going to give them a fair trial? Do we really want to have bureaucracy when it comes to justice? Especially when we have a clear basis for moving forward? Anyways, these are just examples. With this declaration, we establish a free and sovereign society founded upon truth, responsibility, justice, and mutual respect. Declaration of the People. 1. Sovereignty of the people. All power in Jamaica belongs to the people of the island. Government exists only to carry out the will of the people and to protect their rights and safety. No person, office, institution, or organization may claim authority that does not explicitly come from this constitution. What does this mean? Nobody can go out there say them a agent, officer, public servant, or whatever, and just do whatever them please. If them not do whatever them duty is according to the constitution, they are to be held liable. Supremacy of the constitution. This constitution is the highest law of Jamaica. Any law, regulation, or action that conflicts with this constitution is invalid. Equality before the law. All people are equal under the law. No person shall receive immunity or special protection from the law because of rank, wealth, political position, or public office. Plain law. All laws must be written in clear language. Hidden rules, unwritten doctrines, or secret interpretations of law shall not be recognized. Open government. All actions of government must be recorded and open to public review unless the safety of the people requires temporary secrecy. Accountability. Every public official is personally responsible for the lawful exercise of their authority. Violation of the law by public officials shall be investigated and judged under the same law that applies to all citizens. What does that mean? We don't have no administrative, private adjudication when time you have complaints. If a citizen of Jamaica have a problem with a public official, them supposed to can bring a complaint directly to the court. We don't want no kind of secret meeting. We don't want no private adjudication. Everybody's supposed to be adhered to regarding the law. Everybody's supposed to be held accountable under the same law. You're not supposed to have no separate department. You get what me I say? Everybody get tried the same way. Protection of the land. The land, rivers, forests, and seas of Jamaica belong to the people and must be protected for present and future generations. Civil participation. The people shall participate directly in important decisions of national importance through open voting. Government shall not exist as a distant authority, but as a structure maintained by the people themselves. Bill of Rights and Freedoms. Right to life and security. Every person has the right to live in safety and dignity. No person shall be deprived of life or liberty except through lawful judgment after a fair trial by an impartial tribunal of 3 judges from different parishes or a jury of 9 people from different parishes, unrelated to any party. So, if we are really going to have a fair judicial system, we can't have judges sit down day in, day out in the same place and judge the people. We need to mix them up. We need to change around the rule of law so that sometimes you have trial by jury. Sometimes you have trial by tribunal. No single judge not supposed to sit down so and determine the fate of everybody we are coming in front of him. That is not impartial justice. We need a tribunal, just like we have in many different places. Freedom of thought and belief. Every person may hold and express their belief, religious or otherwise, without interference. Freedom of speech and expression. Every person has the right to speak, write, publish, and share ideas without censorship, subject only to laws protecting the safety and rights of others. So as long as you not interfere with somebody else, you're supposed to have free speech. Simple as that. Freedom of assembly. People may gather peacefully to discuss matters of public interest and to petition their government. Freedom from arbitrary arrest. No person shall be detained or arrested without lawful cause, supported by evidence sufficient to prove harm, damage, loss of life, or loss of right. What this mean? This means, if you are to be arrested for anything, evidence must exist and it must be sufficient to prove some kind of harm, some kind of damage, some kind of loss of life, or some kind of loss of right. You can't just be arrested because of suspicion. Suspicion is garbage. You need to have evidence of a crime to get arrested. Fair trial. Every person accused of a crime has the right to face the accuser in court, know the accusation, present evidence, question witnesses, defend themselves personally or with assistance, be judged by an impartial court. Public courts. All courts shall operate openly and maintain full records of proceedings, including audio, video, written rulings and evidence, and also transcripts. In this day and age, there is no excuse not to have digital recordings of court proceedings where everybody can go look on it. If you're there at work today, or you can't make it a court, you're supposed to can go on the computer and go look on what transpire. We are in a day and age of technology. It is shameful that we currently have systems around the world. We have access to all this technology and refuse to use it. Them still sit down and write down things on paper. Anyways, let us proceed. Protection of privacy. The private lives, homes, communications, and personal records of individuals shall not be interfered with except under lawful authority and evidence. Property rights. People have the right to own property and to use it peacefully. Property may not be taken except for public necessity and fair compensation. Government not supposed to can just get up so and tell us, come on for your property. They need it for this, they need it for that. And not pay you for. Protection from cruel or arbitrary punishment. Punishment must be lawful, proportionate, and publicly known. No punishment may be imposed except under a law written and enacted before the alleged offense. What does that mean? The court cannot make up a punishment for something they have not seen before. All judges imposing punishment shall be named in full and sign every order by hand. Can't tell you the amount of time where you see orders get issued in a court and you don't even know what the name of the judge is. They might use shorthand, they might use abbreviation, they might write like say them a doctor. Shameful. A trial by jury shall be anonymous in judgment and shall only require the signatures of the majority. Right to education. All children shall receive education necessary to understand the laws, history, language, and responsibilities of society. We currently do not have this. All children shall receive education necessary to understand the laws, history, language, and responsibilities of society. If we don't have these basic things in primary school and high school, we have an uneducated nation. Right to representation. Any person may represent themselves or choose another person to assist in their legal defense. No person shall be forced to hire a lawyer, nor attorney, nor a legal professional. I am sure many people have gone into court and the judge say, you can't represent yourself in a court. You have to get a lawyer. That is unlawful. The Constitution states no such thing. You have the right to legal counsel, but you cannot be forced to take legal counsel or have someone represent you. 13. Right to record government. Citizens may document public officials performing public duties. 14. Right to participation. Citizens have the right to vote on matters of national importance as provided in this Constitution. So, this is a starting point. This is a beginning. Okay? We as a people can come together and formulate and continue to create this document. Right? If we don't create something, we have to settle for what is already in place. So that's why I say, those who are interested in actually coming together as a people and creating a new constitution by the people, now you have a chance to do so. Okay? What I am going to do is I am going to put a submission box on that page so that if you want to input something, you can submit it. If you want to add something, you can submit it. If you want to change something, submit your suggestion. Right? And every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, we are going to be working on this document together. We don't need everybody to participate. We don't need everybody to jump in. We don't need everybody to do anything. We only need a few people to start. Those who find it useful later will get on board. Okay? But this is how we start change. If we as a people don't create anything, then we are going to still be subjected to what is already in place. Because we can't have chaos, don't. We have to have the rule of law, but we also need the protections. We need to maintain power. We cannot just vote and then start complaining that things are not going as we hoped for. We have the power to put proper rules of law in place so that we are the ones who ensure our safety. We are the ones who ensure our livelihood. We are the ones who ensure that anything that happens on this island, it is a collective effort. It is not just the will of a few, less than 1%. That is the purpose of this thing. Okay? So, if you want to be a part of this, let me open up the panel so that, and you can come up and say something too. Lawful, big up, welcome, welcome. If you want to be a part of something like this, then you can simply make your voice be heard. Shadow. Shadow. Alright, him not ready yet. So when we put these rules in place, then we will move on to the next step. Ricardo, what go on?
I'm great. I'm great.
Greetings.
Yes, I love what I'm seeing. I was just asking about like for the Jamaican people that's live abroad for now, because definitely we're going back. Just because financial. That's the only reason why anybody come out of Jamaica. The only reason. So once that gets sorted out, to
Yeah. Well, this is for every Jamaican, This is not just people who are on the ground.
hmm
You see it?
hmm
So for those who are abroad and you want to contribute, you still have the same power.
Okay. Thank you.
The whole of the neighbors Supreme Court of Jamaica. Walk on.
Yeah, no boss. Pressed up by mistake, I date my depend, so now I got to show up good, so I just I watch,
All right, big up yourself.
Yeah,
Lawful.
man.
Yes, so this is an opportunity for all Jamaicans to participate in something historic. This has never been created before, right? We as a people have never had the chance to create a constitution for ourselves. We have always inherited a ruling class. And that ruling class, for some of us, it may have been beneficial, right? You have friends in high places or people do whatever. For most, or for many, let me say for many, it has been a disadvantage, especially if you go or you get caught up in the court system, right? And again, this is not an anti-government page. This is not an anti-police page. However, we the people must come in as free. And the only way we can be free is if we take part in our government. We cannot idly sit by and let others decide our life for us. Especially when we have a chance to do better. Tolerance, what go on?
Yeah, man, manners and respect, brother.
Man, I same way. Up.
As I said, that they want to have a so-called, what them call it, a constitutional and a review because them don't want to implement some new things. But you realize, or you bring forth some things to the people, they have never bring forth that.
Right.
And within them new changes of the constitution, them have some hidden agendas. You see me, we don't want to be part of, but this way you just put forth. Yeah, man. We can be part of this. You see me?
Right.
And you gotta sign up for part of this. Because you can't have a change in constitution without the people.
Right.
The people have no full knowledge of where you want to change, what it is that you want to implement, where you want to twist, where you want to reform, or constitutional reform, them call it.
Right.
Yeah, without the knowledge of the people.
Exactly.
You see me? So, this way you put forth to the people now. If it not align to where you put forth, we don't really want to reform it until it can align to these things where you put forth. Not for them in agenda. Not just come tell you, oh, it a go reform and we don't know where you are reform about.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Yeah, so manners and respect to where you do and where you put forth. Just now, you see me I say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. I put the signature to it. Definite.
Yeah, man, because one of the other things I want to touch upon is that when we the people come up with certain things and we start take certain actions, This is not just we have put ideas together. Everybody we want to come together and say, yes, I am in agreement. We are going to have, you see, like how, I don't know if people know about United States history, but you see, like how them come together and them have to come sit down and sign.
Yep.
And so me want everybody. We not go out there go march. We not go out there go march and show up ourselves. Them the something they are different something. If we are come together, we are come together for a purpose. So we can have one day where in each parish we carry the one document.
Yep.
And everybody who wants sign to it, we have everybody hand assigned to it. If you say, yes, me in agreement, me want to be free, me want to be a part of this history we are create.
Yep, because them can see and read what we have put to them.
Right.
And they just say reform and them don't know what the hell are reform.
Exactly. Everybody, one by one, you come and you come sign your page, sign part of the document, be a part of this. You don't just sit down and listen so and I say, yeah man, me agree. Because at the end of the day, this are going to affect everybody.
Yeah, man, with generations to come.
Right. So we have the power right now to do this. So why not? Why not? And this is just the beginning. I'm going to continue put it together. I'm going to continue to give the options so people can submit whatever changes they want to add, whatever suggestions they have. As again, we're there upon the positive, you know. We're not there for a bash nobody and all them something. We are focused on we. Now worry about what other people are doing.
We the people.
We the people. This is one of the only ways we can have one voice.
And
Because otherwise, you have somebody over here, so I talk about something, somebody over there, so they want to do something else. We need one voice.
one voice. And let them tell them when them vote is their voice. But all these years, the same people, them when me see vote, that cry for the same cry from 1932. And this is before we even so-called independent. From
Right.
1932, I see a JIS program. Nurses strike for wages increase and government workers better
Wickedness.
roads and I said then in a 2025, 1932. I see them thinking people them about
Yeah.
better road, better wage. So what have changed for the people? If I
Exactly.
see him cry from 1932, and this is before, and if them think I lie, I tell them can look for the JIS report. I don't know JIS are one of the first broadcasting thing. Yeah,
Right. Yep.
teachers and nurses strike. Better working environment and better wage. Up to this day,
And you can't tell me, say, we don't have the power to change that.
then of course,
Because if we can spend, how much
waste.
was it? How much in
If we
billion pound
can
buses?
waste. No, if we don't remember, always spend $1.3 trillion.
Right. But we can't even say we.
Them,
Aye.
Joe, them no remember all them spend $1.3 trillion our money.
Right. Now, here's another big thing, you know, which, I mean, it'll come to light at some point. None of we in the public not know how much money we have. We are here about say the government do this with the money, then can't find this and money, then can't see this. This a report come out, but none of we no see no actual account with no money in it.
Them not show you that.
All right. Because me sure say, me almost 100% sure say, anybody we in a regular society will see the amount of zero we more than likely have. Would I wonder how comes we are say Jamaica
Poor.
pay so?
A word. Notice them stop talk about the NIR.
Imagine in a system of banking where you have a system of records and you're going to tell me say you can't find a transaction.
You don't remember how you spend it.
But even if you don't remember, the record did it.
You never go through the books.
Then the kind of money they can withdraw.
But it never go through the books. It just never run through the books.
But if it don't run through the books, it can't come out. Just put back the zero them then.
So you see what go on. Somebody will play with the books.
But when I see neither the books nor the paper, we are here boy report.
Them can't tell the man because I tell people say Jamaica and the Dubai at the Western Hemisphere.
Well,
I will pay more if you survive daily than any other country. Even the what they call it, the so-called first world country.
right.
The average Jamaican has spend 50 US per day if you survive.
Yep.
If you have kids, a 50 US at least.
People now realize what going on.
Traveling money. If you have him wife too and them everything, you had it up. Because lunch money for one kid alone, you look on at least $700. So if two of them are 1,400 and you know if one bigger are 1,700. And that's just lunch.
Them say Jamaica is a third world country. Right? But it is only a third world country because we're not in a war and we're not in a nuclear business.
And me used to say we third world because we passed a dimension already. And we in another dimension where them are trying to figure out how we reach this up.
Exactly.
Remember,
because
people always ask how Jamaicans survive in Jamaica.
Yep. Because enough of them things say Jamaica cheap. And when they come to Jamaica with them vacation money, they now go back with none.
None. I'm not go back with none. Because my budget at least we come out here and it's a 2,000 US and my budget for at least all of 1 week.
Right.
And you look on 200,000, almost 300,000.
But you know that's a part of the the commercial thing as well. You know, create things off of the brand.
That's why they came with brand Jamaica, because so them see people them know as a brand, so them treat them the same.
Right. But it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of
Let me hear the term brand Jamaica and them don't know say no, where you do with that brand? The manufacturer of the brand, cheap labor. And when it sell on a high profit line.
Of
So
course.
if we are brand Jamaica, it simply mean cheap labor and sell on high profit line. So if you see some football club around out, you see them in like Jamaican colours, but you don't know because it might be, miniature, but it branded. Whatever is for branded is for sale.
Of course. 100%.
The slave was branded for sale, the cattle was branded for sale. All that is branded is for sale. So if Jamaica is a brand, it is for sale. Now they know.
And just like me go over the last time, the very first constitution in a Jamaica calls it a franchise. Imagine the very first constitution called Jamaica a franchise. So this is not speculation. These are facts. These are verifiable facts backed up by documents you can access for yourself. You can go on voiceofjamaica.com, click on research in the menu, and you can see these documents for yourself as well. They are not hosted there, they are just links. Right? Enough is enough. What go on?
Yeah, good. Wait there now. Good morning. 1:30 in the UK. I'm in the UK, so I don't know where you're there. But yeah, greetings. And to all those who are on the platform listening.
Yeah, man, greetings.
Yeah, I'd been listening from earlier, and what pricked my ears was the fact that you started to address the Constitution, which gives us governance. And being in the UK, we're in the heart of the dragon. We're the ones that the Jamaican government is mimicking.
Right.
And I think we've got a very important role for those of us who are here. I myself have been here from 1969. And we're at that crossroad where, you have the saying that those who are scattered abroad, when them find themselves and come to the realizations and see what we have in the Jamaica and what we've been subjected to here in the UK, sometime we are going to rebel. So we've got good reasons to see a constitution drafted down there that suits Jamaica. And I've been fortunate that I've been down there. I've met Kodjo, I've met Marvin Lickle, I've met Joseph Patterson. They all have this idea for a constitution, which is the only way. Yeah, the constitution is the only way. But my concern is, can you join all of those parties up to become one so that we can represent the island? Because it seems like there's an ego that prevents us from doing this thing because everybody wants to be the leader.
This is where the diaspora come in play.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody wants to be a
Yeah,
leader, and the
man. This
leader
is where the
is the
diaspora. But the
constitution.
problem with the diaspora is them still too politically aligned. So
right.
the
So,
diaspora don't the diaspora don't align on things like what them see in other countries where them want develop in Jamaica, so them themselves can say even forward back. You see me
You
I
need
say,
to push your talk, Star. Because how you qualify for say that?
so let me address that part about the political nature of things, right? I realize there are some groups out there and they want to infuse into the current system of governance. And I am not of that view.
We need
And
to rip it up.
right, that needs to get rid of political dividing, setting one side left, one side right. I am no fan of it.
That's right.
That's why I don't comment on anything political on my page.
Yeah, and that's why I just get back to this brother. You see, because once you start coming in and this color thing, it defeats the whole object.
Right.
Yeah. And that again is the reason why I say I have lived in foreign. I've been in this country 56 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still have the passion for where I come from, which is a village. I say it take a village to raise a child. Yeah.
Right.
I grew up where we all eat out of one pot. You understand? We play upon one field. Yeah. And despite all of that, every time I go back to Jamaica, it's like it's going backwards rather than forward. Yeah. Because when it was under the British control, we were the jewel in the Caribbean because we had the electricity, we had everything. How
Right.
come England, they never even had double glaze in our central heating? Yeah. So it's been most concerning to myself, particularly in this time, yeah, where we as a generation, we live to see Babylon fall and we're not prepared. And when I said we're not prepared, we're not united, yeah, because each one of us is like we want to play the leadership role, even though we know that if we raise our head above the parapet, they're gonna eliminate us, unalive us. Yeah. So the best thing is, as Andre Stevens tell me, we stay in our lane because we all have spiritual gifts. Yeah. We all now come to realize we are the chosen race. And you can do that by the character because we love everybody, but we seem to hate ourselves. Yeah. So with all that has been around us, because we don't need glasses, everything has been revealed. The Zionists who are out there was instrumental in slavery and oppression. So now we see all of these things. Yeah. The Constitution is the solution. Yeah. That's why I say I spend the time so I listen. Even though I surf, I come back. Yeah. Because as much as I've been in politics, yeah, I stay in my lane. I work with young people. More recently, my attention has been drawn on the drums. Yeah, because I realize this is not a physical thing. This is spiritual warfare. Because one of the most efficient thing they sold us was religion. Yeah. How do we break those molds? Yeah. So I support the conversation insofar as the Constitution. Yeah, I would encourage everyone who is on this platform because I listen to Mystic Sensation, I listen to Hot Topic, I listen to Rattigan. As a matter of fact, whenever I make my move, because I am due to make a move towards Jamaica, before I go anywhere, I have to touch base. Yeah, I touch base with people and I take their advice. So, like I'm just even tell myself to stay in my lane, I stay in my lane. Yeah. And I do what I do and I watch other people. Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is that people will go and they use the phone, do a little research, and they come back and regurgitate the same thing like they're my expert. Yeah. So the challenge I find is that I go Jamaica. I can't do anything without their input. Yeah. But it's like you can't tell Jamaicans anything. Yeah. And they don't even understand their own constitution. They don't know their rights from their wrongs. But whenever you tell them anything, immediately they just assume that you're wrong because they're going off what they hear. Yeah. So that's where my concern is. Yeah. And even with me now, I have made security or I have secured the brand. Like we was talking about brand. Yeah. I've secured the brand. I have got the intellectual property rights for Taras, yeah, which is a common expression, yeah. And I took this brand, must about 10 years or more now, yeah. Because when we say that, it express our inner feeling that we vex. We're at the end of our tether. we can't take it no more. We have to take a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I've done also, I've also secured enough is enough. Yeah, because that is the politically correct way of saying to us. Yeah, you're saying enough is enough, but this is in a more polite way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in life you have to have balance because people look at wrong and right as two separate things, but in a sense, it's two are the same thing. The difference is the feather, which is in the middle. Yeah, which is a pivotal point. Yeah, and we need to realize that life is about balance. So there's good and bad in everybody. Yeah, so we can't be putting these forces outside because we are God's creation. That is the difference between us and them. We're born with rhythm. Yeah, we align with nature. Yeah, so let me just commend you for what you're doing because it is just to encourage you. The Constitution, yeah, is the key, is what prevents us from arguing amongst ourselves
Right.
or warring. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it constitutes what do you say, governance. Yeah,
Right.
and as again I've said, I'm somebody who's been into the politics, so I know in order to get best value out of everything, first you have to set the boundaries. That's to say, you set about as to how you're going to conduct your affairs. On this platform, you say no swearing, yeah, don't be abusive to one another. That way we can move on our reason. So once you set those parameters, then yeah, we can set about to reason. Yeah. And
Right.
then you have to take responsibility because none of us is perfect. Yeah. So you can lick down somebody and get satisfaction, but you also have to take responsibility for it. Yeah, because if you're justified, you're not a problem with the responsibility. Yeah. Once you take responsibility, yeah, then you then earn respect. After you earn respect, then you have all rights. Yeah. But the starting point must always be reasoning because when we reason, we establish boundaries. Yeah. And that's what comes from the reasoning comes the constitution. Yeah. So I'm 100%. I will no doubt continue at point to follow yourself and let me encourage others that the question I would like to pose is having a third party because that was a challenge. Yeah. A lot of Jamaicans tell you say a third party don't even stand a chance. Yeah, but without a third party or the notion of a third party, the constitution will remain the same because it's two heads and one body. It's the effect of the Western society or the Zionists just kicking the can down the road for another 500 years. And then we can continue saying, well, what can go so?
Wait,
Yeah?
but
How
hold on
much
a
we are
second
doing
there.
it?
So I want to make sure we're on the same page here. You know, this is not an attempt at a constitution reform, right?
Yeah, rip up the thing. You have a
Well, not
consult with the Jamaican people.
not necessarily ripping it up. We are leaving it by the wayside. And the people have a chance now to create their own. So we're not disturbing the current setup until we are fully aware of what we're doing and we decide to move forward.
Yeah. So in that case, it's one of those things that before you go to the next election, that has to be
No,
part of the.
absolutely not. So here's the thing, and these discussions are good because we have to realize what we mean by a constitution and what effect it has on anything else in society if we are supposed to create a new one, right? Now, what eludes a lot of people is that there were changes attempted at the Constitution over the years, right? We had several attempts to repeal certain provisions, and we had additions such as the Charter of Fundamental Rights. We had repealing of certain government functions. We have quite a few things that change was attempted, and up to this day, they have not made a final edition of that constitution. It is still in pieces. So some of the things that were attempted, it is not even confirmed that it was done legally and lawfully, and if it is fully in effect. The courts have been using the pieces and parts still as the Constitution, Order and Council 1962 in brackets, and they readily reference it that way. But it is actually a fragmented framework. Now, that being said, if we the people create a constitution and we get national support next week, we can bring that document to the British Crown, and we don't need to have nobody sign off on anything. It is simply a declaration. We are declaring our freedom because there was no document that was signed giving us our freedom. It was simply gazetted as law because there was nothing else there. We didn't create a constitution before. So now that we are taking our freedom in our hands, we simply put them on notice. We don't need a political party or a voting session for any of that. Because then that would mean that we are still under somebody's control.
Yeah, but how do you make that transition? Because somebody has to approve it, and that approbation.
No, it's the people of Jamaica is approving that. If the people come together and sign off on a national referendum, we simply declare our freedom. We don't ask.
Right. So how do we get to the referendum? Because we've got a situation now with the chicken and the egg.
No, we don't.
Yeah, well, all right. So always we have to go and consult with the people, and that's the reason why I was saying then, when we're going into the election, one of the things that we need to emphasize is the first thing that we need to deal with, or what is going to be on the what do you say, as one of the things that needs to be done as a priority, is to look at the Constitution, because it doesn't matter how many times you tweak it, if it doesn't suit the government, if the people rather, then we're not going to get anywhere. So it needs to get to the people. But presently, as it is, yeah, the people don't understand the present constitution, right? So where is the starting point?
Yeah, so again, what we have here today is a creation we have started. I'm not sure if you catch that part earlier.
I was watching a little bit earlier, and again, that's the reason why I said for those of us who are already in Babylon, yeah, the head of the dragon, which is the UK, because it is their constitution that they've given us and we've tried to work with. But at the same time, we've got people who are here, yeah, who have studied in their institutions, who are overly qualified, yeah, in the legal field, that can look at the Constitution and at the same time look as to where it favors and where it doesn't favor us. Yeah.
So no, we're abandoning that constitution. We're not using it at all.
Yeah, but you have to use it as a leverage. You can't just get rid of it.
Why?
Because you got there's good models out there. Yeah. So it might be a case of cutting and pasting. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm saying you've got legal representatives here in the UK, yeah, who are able and who are adept at these things. And because we've been amongst them, they can't be looking at us and telling us any lies. Yeah, because we're on the front line. We're not far removed as those who are, say, in the Caribbean.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I get what you are saying, and I get the direction where you're coming from. You're coming from a political standpoint, not necessarily, uh, as you can see, a grassroots standpoint, which is where I'm coming from. From a
Yeah,
political
brother.
standpoint, I get you. You want it to be legally comprehensible. You want it to be legally assailable. You want it to be, in conformity with all of these other different things. And what I am saying to you is that is not the direction of this thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily going to agree with. Yeah, I've been into politics, but my politics has always been at the grassroots level. Yeah, I did contest to be an MP. Yeah, but there's nothing honorable about being an MP because you're basically in the pockets of business and
Right?
big institutions. So I've always kept it at the grassroots level where you're engaging with your local community. Yeah. So I've always treasured that role which I played as an elected member, a council level. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not into the hierarchy who want to then dictate and look down. Yeah. I'm very much from the grassroots level looking up. And I can also say to you, I'm one individual, probably in the UK, who has been a member of all parties except the Conservative Party. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
I'm a community activist. I'm not a party political animal. Yeah. So a lot of people who would hear me on different platforms, and as soon as you say anything against one or the other, they want to stigmatize you and put you in that pigeonhole. I'm not that way. Yeah. But what I'm doing
Right.
is I'm saluting your effort to say, yeah, the Constitution is the way forward. Yeah. The sooner we get on it, the better. I'm noticing Marvin is on it. Kodjo is being on it. It was Joseph Patterson of the UIC that got my attention for me to travel down there and also to welcome him up here at a town hall meeting. So these are things that's been ongoing for 3 years plus, and I'm still not seeing the actions down there. Yeah.
And this is exactly why I say to you, this is completely different from all of those other efforts because I comprehend the position you're coming from. I comprehend the arena, and this is a 180-degree direction away from that.
Okay. Okay. Well, my
Right.
question, which I'd posed earlier, can you join up with the likes of um, Marvin, Kodjo, the Joseph Patterson, yeah, for the reason that Jamaica needs to sort it out because we've lost our moral compass. If Jamaica was in the place that it was, say, 15, 20 years ago, as a socialist nation, there's no way Trump would be able to do what he's presently doing right now. They've totally undermined us. Yeah. And for that reason, we don't stand for anything. It's like we're groveling.
Well, brother, um, I'll just say this: if someone reviews what we are doing and they want to join, everybody's at the same level. I am not here to dictate to anyone to saying this is the way or that is the way. However, the practice and the policy of other people typically does not line up with what I teach or what I am doing on this side. So I don't reach out to individuals to try to change their minds or to get them to come on board. It is simply those who find it to be useful and they want to be a part. That's a different story. But anything politically motivated or derivative of a political structure, I don't think it fits with this model because at the end of the day, political systems do not respect and recognize the people as a moving force. They simply use the people for a voting voice, and then they stand on that and act as if they are God. So I don't want to be a part of any of those systems. Hence, why I give the people the option. I am not doing anything. I am not a leader. I am simply making options available for people that are already in the public. What I am doing is nothing new. It is something that has always been there for people to read and go look at other countries, go and look at how other countries have taken their own constitutions or put their own countries back together. It has never been to succumb to or to try to negotiate with a hostile power who is going to defend their power at all costs. And again, I am not here to encourage people to do any overthrowing or to, do anything unlawful. We are simply peacefully gathering openly and discussing how we can change our lives. We no business about corporate or political structures. Respectfully.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, but for it to be effective, the place it needs to be effective is in that political arena, because that's
Well,
what.
that is your opinion. That's your opinion.
No,
Let
no,
us
well,
see. Let us see where it goes, because now you're presupposing a lot of things. And this is literally the first stage of drafting our constitution. So I am not going to say you're wrong, but let us see where it goes. We are not going to throw down the iron because the fire not hot enough. That is not, I mean,
yeah,
it's just like
well,
somebody, it's just like a baby is trying to walk. You're going to tell him, don't try anymore?
no, no, but that baby there go develop and see you walking and wonders what go on.
Okay,
You understand? Yeah.
okay.
So it is a case. I mean, I say, yeah, we are a vessel to be used, but I'm sure you want to be used in the right way. So when in the back of your mind, you've already got an outline.
What do you mean
Yeah.
by that? A vessel to be used.
Well, I say I'm one of those that say that we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. So each one of us have got a purpose. Yeah. And you don't want your purpose to be abused by anybody. But at the same time, each one teaches one. So we need to be half full and half empty in order to move forward, because, we didn't come here with everything. And that's why I value in what Andre Stephen had said to me, just stay in your lane. Know what your spiritual gift is. Because
Right.
when it's spiritual, you get an inspiration. Yeah. So when I say be used now, it is a guiding to have that discerning and guiding spirit, because the God is within you. Yeah. It's whether
Right.
you want to use it for good or you want to use it for bad, because the devil in there too.
Well, me not depend that still, but I get what you're saying. I get the position,
Okay.
However,
Yeah.
this is not, like I would say, this is not for everybody. We know say some people want to keep the system as is because it's beneficial to them, right? This is not probably for them, but at the same time, everybody has have them free will. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people will say, "Yeah, man, we need to come together. We need to put this together. We need to stand as one. We need to." Well, if your interests align and you want to become a part of this movement, that is no problem. But we are not going to be shifting our position just to please someone else or just to please another group. Definitely not. This group here is for independence, people who can think on their own, not to be depending on a specific group or a specific person to do something, because that is how you kill a movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather teach everyone and allow everyone to be autonomous than for everybody to be looking to me for anything. That's why I teach. The more you teach, the more independent people become. And that is the goal.
Mm-hmm. No, I support that. That is in line with them. Say you throw your can, you not call no fall. Is who pick it up.
Right.
Yeah. But again, you know, we Jamaicans at times, you know, the scenario of the monkey and the razor. Yeah, some people see the idea, pick it up, them don't know if to deliver it. You understand? Them take it and run with it.
Right.
Yeah, and you have a whole heap of, you have a whole heap of Jamaicans like that. Yeah, so you share certain things, insight, and before them work with you, stay in a for them lane. Yeah, them go take on more than them know them can bear. Yeah,
Right. Well,
and
everybody have to learn, one way or the other.
yeah, but not to the detriment of our country, man.
But we can't stop. Listen, we cannot prevent anything, right? We can attempt to be prepared, but we cannot prevent anything because we are reactionary by nature. Something has to happen in many cases for us to be alerted of it.
Yeah,
So
but
we actually live in the past. So at the
yeah,
end of the day, we can't prevent nothing. If we know of something, it is not preventing, it is simply making a choice.
yeah, but within that choice, it enables you to prevent because that again leads us back to the Constitution. The Constitution is to enable as well as to prevent. It's a two-way thing. Yeah,
When you say prevent what?
collectively, yeah, collectively, yeah, it enables you to move forward. Yeah, collectively, it enables you to reprimand. Yeah, and also by having those governance, because those statutes which then becomes laws, those laws is also preventable. Some people will break the law because circumstances, yeah, but that is down to circumstances. As long as they take responsibility for their action, yeah, which is they know the consequence beforehand,
All right.
you know. So again, I can only wish, like, for yourself and those who are listening, if you set up the group and then for whatever purpose that group is gonna, then others will feed into it, because I know ultimately it's best that you take a small bite than you bite off more than you can chew. And oftentimes we bite off more than you can chew. And myself, having been in into the politics, I know if you take on too much, your family suffers because you have time for the community and you don't have time for your own family. So that's why we need to take things in smaller portion and share the workload. Yeah, that's why it takes a village. Yeah, oftentimes we think so we take on too much because we think it makes us important. Yeah, but it's just the small things you need to do, and that then it's a collective effort. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So I'm 100% in support, like with yourself. Yeah, so if you're doing it, then yeah, me would stand by side by you and do it because it means me not have too much work to do. You understand? That is
Well,
a burden. That is a burden of when you take on thing. You then just need to be able to delegate, find out what our strengths are. Yeah. And then when somebody come and pose the question and say, all right, I better you go answer that. I got to deal with Amanda over this. So you understand? You then just become the conductor.
okay. Well, here's the thing. We can talk about the preemptive nature of some of these things all evening, but I do want to get to some more questions, and
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate the questions and the forward thinking in some of this, and also the position. I respect everyone's position in life, but at the end of the day, everyone has to choose, right? Some people are going to choose what they are comfortable with, and some people want new ground, right?
Mm.
So, big up yourself, CMWay. Thank you again for joining in.
Okay. Can I
And
just ask, are you
yeah,
on the island or are you abroad?
I'm back and forth all the time.
That sound like you're there foreign.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes we need people who are are grounded down there because that's another transition. But
We who?
irrespective of, hmm?
You say sometimes we need people underground for what?
First, like I can talk about England because I've been in England for so many years. I've been absent from Jamaica, so I can't represent Jamaica from foreign. So it's good to have people who are already on the ground. I mean,
But to
I've got,
do, but that's what I'm saying. To do what exactly? Because we're not going down there to march. We're not going go down there to do what exactly do we need to do in Jamaica specifically that we need people on the ground?
yeah, well, that again is an answer to the question because when you're down there, you know. When you're there foreign, you listen out for here.
Yeah, listen out. All right, that's a different topic. That's a different topic.
Okay. Okay. And
that
so saying, yeah, I'll be going down there to join them and demonstrate. Yeah, because I've got my passport.
okay, okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right, big
but
up
yeah,
yourself.
respect. Yeah,
Yeah,
respect.
man. Lawful. Thank you. So, um, back to the topic at hand. Like we said before, we know so this is not for everybody. See? It is very simple. It's just like church. If you don't want to go, you stay at your yard. If you not agree with what somebody has say, you can actually just scroll. You don't have to go nowhere. Right? At the end of the day, I am only here to show you the door. I'm not there to lead nobody. When this constitution has been crafted and we get all the inputs and we get the document complete, where we know say how we craft it, everything in there is to benefit the people, right? Then we the people are going to show our action by agreement or agreement by action. And the whole way, one by one, I go use one pen and we are going to sign the document there. See? So we are going to do it. This is not going to be nothing digital. This is not going to be anything where nobody can just erase off one computer. See? So at the end of the day, we not ask nobody for no authority. We make sure it is known 100% that we, of our own free will, England claims say we free from 1960 something, right? From 1960 something, then claims that we're free. So we've been free. We just not do not as a free people just yet. So if we're free, we don't need to go ask nobody about our constitution. We just make them know say here we go on. You see, as from this point going forward, we the free people, this a free will law. And anything we did it before, we're done with that. We're done with that. Just make sure say, when you pack up on the belongings, and when you just leave we alone. Simple. And we publish that worldwide. Every country. Me sure we have Jamaican in every country. Because I see Jamaican in some places, see? Me see Jamaicans a report from some place. Me never even know say them place they have name. So me almost confident that Jamaica in every corner of this place, yeah, this piece of land. I mean, no say, once we are done and we make it be known, people from all over are going to assist with the publication of such a document so that it is known worldwide that we are now fully independent, and we have drafted our first constitution as a people. It's that simple. Once we have done that, that is when the law takes effect. We give it a date. Once a constitution takes effect by the people, anything that is prior to the constitution becomes null and void. That is known internationally. And once we as a people institute a new constitution, the new laws go into effect. If we so deem it, we can abolish elections. We can form a new form of government. If we so deem it, we can continue to elect officials. But again, all I'm going to put down is just like they have it, a framework. And from there, we as a people choose and come together. What we want to include, what we want to change, what we want to implement. Not just 20 and 30 people sit down in our dark room and write up, and come out like say they care about what you think. Everybody will have a chance to input. Everybody will have a chance to review, add, make suggestions, etc., etc. If it comes to a point where we have contention, we make a public vote. A live voting one day. One day, right? You go online and you vote whether or not this should be included or that should not be included. Very simple. Very simple. So we are not here to contend with any current power struggle. We are not here to try to do anything nefarious. It is simply positive law. That's what it is called. The will of the people is positive law. It's that simple. We are not in opposition of anything. Lawful at all times. So that's why we don't have nothing to hide. We don't have to do this in a secret. We have the right to peaceful assembly, and that is what we're doing. If they claim, say, we currently have laws in force and effect, we are using the law. Right? We're using the law to peacefully assemble and to make discussions, etc. So, we have, while the gentleman was explaining himself, if you refresh the page, again, let me show the newcomers how to get to it. They go to voiceofjamaica.com, right? And the first post says new constitution. You click on that, and then you will have the Constitutional Bill of Rights here, Constitution and Bill of Rights. And then here we have the sample. We have the draft of what we have so far, and this will be updated every time we have a live. So next Wednesday, we're going to have more on this document. But if you scroll down to the bottom, we have a form where you can submit your suggestions. Zin? You can submit suggestions to any changes, any additions, etc., etc., regarding the creation of the Constitution. And we will publicly change them. You don't need a login, you don't need nothing. You just get onto the website and you have access. It's that simple. Okay? So, the people have made their voice heard and them say they want change. So now you can be an active part of change. And this is not complicated. We are not trying to create a Bible. We are creating a single legal document. See? Well, put in the suggestions. Put in the suggestions. The website is there. You put in the suggestions. A matter of fact, I am going to test it to make sure that the form is working. Hit submit and see. Boom. The form is working. So you can put in your suggestions on the page and we will take things from there. Zin? A matter of fact, you know something? I just thought of something. We are going to create the document, right? We're going to have all the sections and then we're going to have amendments, right? So we're going to have the full draft document, right? And after about maybe 2 weeks, we deliberate and come back and forth. Then we're going to call it version 1, right? And then any changes that we need over time that we feel like, okay, this needs to be included, that needs to be added, we start creating versions of the document. So we can always go back and see what it was before and what we change it to, right? Up to the time where we decide it is time to activate our new constitution. Zin? So, big up on yourself. Thank you for joining. And we're going to continue on Wednesday with round 2 of the constitution that we are going to be creating by the people for the people.
Yeah, man, that sounds good.
Zin? So big up on yourself. Thank you again for joining. I am actually going to make this live available. I don't really want to convolute the page, but
Yeah.
I am going to make the live publicly available by post. So you'll be able to access it on the homepage of voiceofjamaica.com. So big up on yourself. One love, same way. Lawful. Always. See you on Wednesday.